Nigeria and Ghana, those their wala. Ghanaians really hate Nigeria. One of the big questions. Are they really jealous of Nigeria? You see so. And that say Nigeria people they do things where we say you good. They do things where we say make.
It was crazy, but yeah, my dad is one of a kind, no cap. So yeah, my mom said you were like I was going to Ghana. I was like, yo, I don't want to go. Like it's not like I had to see anyway. But yeah, my dad came back and he told me straight up, yo, you're going to Ghana. I was like, okay, cool. When? 3 days from now. Like, no.
Cedi. His Excellency the President of the Republic of Ghana, John Dramani Mohammed's full statement and bold vision, the role of foreign investment and production, what this means for inflation, jobs, and forex reserves. Kindly support me by subscribing to the channel, like, comment, share, and turn on the notification bell for more updates on developmental projects from across Africa. Ghana's President John Dramani Mahama has proclaimed that a newly identified oil reserve valued at approximately 20 billion.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back once again to another interesting episode right here on the stable of GVIC Inspirations. Well done to each and good day according to the time you are watching this video, no matter whom you are on your screen. Guys, we are back with another interesting one. See, I am very excited to share this great news, innovation, invention of the oil and gas sector of the motherland Ghana. Since the emergence of the president, a lot has been going on when it comes to the gold mining. In fact, the oil and gas, the renewable energy, and everything that has to do with the mineral resources of the motherland Ghana. Currently, as we speak, the president has launched an $80 billion worth of oil and gas refinery production. Yes, producing and drilling like never before, just to boost the growth, the success, the development, and the economy of the motherland Ghana. Oh my God, I'm so happy. And I know that in a short time, Nigeria will go to learn work, because we all know that right here in Nigeria, we just have a monopoly of our oil and gas sector, especially in the crude, all in the hands of our one and only Dangote refinery. He owns everything. So you can see that the whole country is in the hands of one man, being Aliko Dangote. So there's no room for questioning, there's no room for competition, there's no room for anything. So meaning he just wakes up and does whatever he wants, because Nigerians decided to abandon what they have. The NNPC refinery, they abandoned all the refineries that they've had in the days. Being very big and massive oil producing country, Nigeria lagged in terms of producing as a result of bad management, which is corruption in a nutshell. So in this video, I've put together video that shows how the president of Ghana is already taking up the oil and gas sector, the renewable energy, the cocoa, the gold mining. In fact, like I said, the mineral resources in a nutshell. And as well, I've got other videos of foreigners reacting to what they think about the motherland. Like they lie to them about Ghana. It's not the Ghana you used to know. If you have actually underrated the motherland Ghana and you think it's the same Ghana you used to know, come on, you are dreaming. You are daydreaming. Just wake up from your slumber. Anyways, let me hold my peace and put these videos for us to see. Then I will come back at the end to react for that. But please do not forget to give this video a huge and a massive thumbs up. Let me know your thoughts down there in the comment section, and share this video for others like us to see. Exactly. And with that being said, let's delve into this video.
Nigeria and Ghana, those their wala. Ghanaians really hate Nigeria. One of the big questions. Are they really jealous of Nigeria? You see so. And that say Nigeria people they do things where we say you good. They do things where we say make. But you see the Ghanaians too. They abide by the Ghana law. Why they talk is to be saying, make I give you one story not too long. 2017 I call this country. I call this country first open our for this country security for airports. Opposite Hajj village. I know I not give the location. Opposite Hajj village. And I work as security for there. And they do construction for daytime and they do nights. Then you see all this kind of stuff. So I did miss all these people. I'm the only Nigeria where they take at that time. I was very good to them. When they talk, they laugh, they like me. I was very good to them because of me alone. Actually, they employ another Nigeria people. This is so. What do I do with these people? They never pay people for bank. Not only did they pay for cash. I was living well. I was madam that they call her blessing. They call her madam blessing. Young girl. This is so. My age but they call her madam blessing. Another girl they call now. This people say really help for this country. Who you know they say first day guide for me. Okay, now I get used to what happen. You get one church where they go. As a Nigeria boy, if you won't go any church, you say you know say you need love. Maybe they show you love and kindness for this Ghana. If they around spin test station on Guatemala anywhere, then the church they call White Robes Family Nation for spin test. Access Bank, close to Access Bank. The church they upstairs. The name of the pastor is Pastor Elisha Kandapa, the son of Abet Kantapa, former national security minister, that man and the wife are too good. That man love Nigeria to the fullest. So he love and he support Nigeria to the fullest. But waiting in Nigeria to that man, I go to church, I was the faithful member, see what happened here. The man do evangelism at that time, come to airport, he come meet with my guys, me and my brother Worobo, come meet with other two guys, two Benin boys, plus one Akwa Ibom Calabar boy.
So I'll just quickly summarize this very story to make it a lot shorter and say exactly the thing I want to say to you people. So I hope Ghanaians, South Africans, and any other part of African country listens to me on this note. Nigerians are also welcome to listen because this is a sensitization package. So this guy is trying to, intimate us how he was treated really good by Ghanaians everywhere he went to. As at the time he was into building down to everything, Ghanaians gave him top-notch hospitality. And this is a Nigerian. Now this is in trying to, beg the question as to whether Ghanaians actually hate Nigerians. Because Nigerians often say, oh, Ghanaians are envious of Nigerians, South Africans are envious of Nigerians, Nigerians are very progressive. Why do Ghanaians so hate Nigerians? Why do South Africans so hate Nigerians? Now, this is the story he had told. And let me summarize this and come off So, this guy had enjoyed so much hospitality from Ghanaians that Ghanaians, even because of him, gave other Nigerians the privilege to come and work with them. So that was how this guy eventually went and saw a particular church where other Nigerians introduced him to, in telling him that in this church you enjoy top-notch hospitality. That the pastor of that church is obsessed with Nigerians. The pastor of that church is the son of a politician in Ghana, but he loves Nigerians on the grounds that his mentor is the Winners Chapel Oyedepo. Do you understand the situation? But the long and short of it all is that this pastor gave these Nigerians top-notch hospitality. He was paying them, was gratifying them jobs. In fact, this guy actually talking. The pastor was making arrangements to get him a real job, like a particular job that had always been his dream job, that would have elevated him. But the pastor started out by giving them bikes and all those things so that they can do delivery jobs, you understand, in collaboration with Jumia and a number of this. But the fact remains that, as usual, inevitably, one of those Nigerians from Calabar stabbed the pastor at the back. He stole everything and ran away. And the funny thing, this pastor has been using Nigerians to brag in his church. He's been telling his church members that Nigerians are the next great things. Do you understand? Now listen very clearly. Listen very, very clearly. Number one thing is, I'll tell you, as a Ghanaian, as a South African, this is what happens to anybody that is obsessed with Nigerians. I've said this time without numbers. You people cannot continue being this naive. I mean, Ghanaians, I love the fact that you people are innocent, but I wouldn't want you people to get hot. Because I am more acquainted to people that are innocent, transparent, upright, integritous, honorable than people that fall from the same nation with me. I don't care whether you're Nigerian, Ghanaian, or South African, as long as you're a good person. So fortunately, it turns out that most of the people that I can reckon with are mostly from Ghanaians and South Africans because of their character, not because of their nation. Do you understand? So y'all have seen I'm very much unbiased about this. So that's number one. Number one is, this is exactly what happens when you trust a Nigerian. And the worst of it is to trust a Nigerian that speaks pidgin English. I'm sorry, that is the ghetto. Their criminality towards you is inevitable, is a measure of time. Number two is that even this guy talking right now is a question of time. At the fullness of time thereof, he will still exhibit his own criminality. How do I get to know this? I got to really know this because he stated that what pisses him off is that owing to the bad repeat, owing to the action of the prior person, the job that was supposed to come to him was retarded, was diminished, was cancelled. So his anger is not based on the bad reputation, but based on the fact that what was coming for him was refrained, was stopped. Do you understand the situation? Now, the number three thing is, we all have seen that whenever Nigerians open their mouths to say, South Africans envy us, Ghanaians envy us, this is a defense mechanism so that they can be overlooked, such that they can continue in their criminality. Do not let them get to you by saying such things. Rather, when they say such things, you people should be aggravated the more and give them the chase. Because, you see, there is nothing a criminal will not say. There is no excuse a criminal will not make up in order to be overlooked. I'm telling you the truth. Every time you hear, that's what we know them. If you're in Nigeria, you know them. Once a man is doing wrong, once a man is into criminality, and you are the only person that begins to question, where does he even make his money? Every other person will come out with the words that you envy him, you jealous him. These are the things I encounter every now and then. So it's no longer a thing. Don't feel bad when they say you envy them. Don't feel bad when they say you jealous them. Understand within yourself that they are illiterate. Understand within yourself that these people don't even know what envy or jealousy is. Because if they know the true definition of such, they would even know that they had indicted themselves and had proven that basic education had eluded them. I'm telling you the truth. So don't even feel bad. Don't even, feel so snatched when they tell you you envy. Continue with what you're doing, knowing that you're doing good. That's exactly what it is. Thank you.
I actually came to Ghana alone. Now, how did I come to Ghana? I was home one day and my mom actually broke the news to me first. My mom was like, yo, you're going to Ghana. Now I was like, yo, bro, I was able to talk to my mom because it's mom. Like, yeah, I was able to like express how I felt about what she was telling me to my mom. I was like, yo, like, I don't want to go, because I was someone who's never actually left home, even for vacation, even for holidays. Like, my whole life was home, school. My mom had a shop. She has a shop still, like she has a restaurant. So it was either home, school, my mom's shop. And after school, I had to go teach though. That's a story for another day because my dad actually found that job for me. Now I had a whole bunch of friends back then coming home to play PS2. My dad probably didn't like that because I was bringing home a whole bunch of friends. So he had to go look for a teaching job for me. He actually set me up. He was like, yo, we're going somewhere, and we went. Bro, he took me to the school, gave me to the owner of the school, and that was how I started teaching. Oh, guys, he go that was wow, that was crazy. But yeah, my dad is one of a kind, no cap. So yeah, my mom said I was going to Ghana. I was like, yo, I don't want to go. Like, it's not like I had to see anyway. But yeah, my dad came back and he told me straight up, yo, you're going to Ghana. I was like, okay, cool. When? 3 days from now. Like, now imagine coming to me who's never left home and just tell me you're going to Ghana 3 days from now. Like, bro, I was like, yo, what the fuck? Yo, nigga. Yeah, like 3 days later, I found myself in Ghana. Crazy stuff. So I met this uncle over here, and I was with him for a while before I actually moved to my own place. But yeah, it was crazy. Now, when I got to Ghana, for a while, I didn't really connect with Ghanaians because I was more of an introvert. So I've always been an introvert. To be honest, I don't even know how I actually started this whole content creating thing. I guess I've always been a weird kid and someone who's actually ambitious. So I just wanted to do something. I knew I wouldn't survive out there because I had such low self-esteem. So I had to do something that would actually prevent me from going out there to work for anyone. So I think that was what actually led me to content create. I just never, let's say, fit in, if that's correct. If there's anything I fit in. Nah. I just couldn't fit in anywhere. To be honest, I was weird. I was weird, to be honest. Like, I couldn't fit in anywhere. So I had to do something for myself. Let me just put it that way. So crazy shit, right? Crazy stuff. So yeah, that was how I started, this whole content creating thing. I just started from nowhere. I just woke up one day. I just had to do something, bro. I had to do something, bro. I was always restless, bro. I always wanted to make it. So yeah, I just had to do something. So crazy stuff, bro. So for years, I didn't really connect to Ghanaians because, I don't know, I was new to the culture and everything. But after a while, I met this Baba who's one of my best friends. His name is William. So Essential. Shout out to my bro, Williams. Essential. Love, bro. Love, respect. So yeah, we became friends, and he actually started introducing me to his friends and friends of friends and stuff like that. So, yeah, then a couple of years later, I met the likes of Nat, Richie, and the family, the people I consider my family now. Bro, I don't even have one Nigerian friend in Ghana, no cap. It's all Ghanaians, and it's crazy. For some reason, I actually feel like I actually connect with them more, probably because I'm kind of calm. I don't want to say anything that would make my Nigerian family or my Nigerian people actually upset, but for some reason I actually just found peace with Ghanaians, and that's how I found myself rolling with Ghanaians. You understand? So my experience so far, it's been bittersweet. Let me just put it that way. I've had more good times than bad times, though. People don't even know I'm Nigerian. It's crazy at this point because people don't even know I'm Nigerian. I have to actually speak before they actually realize I'm Nigerian. And bro, my accent is all messed up because sometimes I be sounding Ghanaian unintentionally, though. It's just, bro, I've been around for a very long time and around Ghanaians for a very long time, so it's crazy, right? So I would say it's been a bittersweet experience for me. Now, most Ghanaians don't like Nigerians, which is actually understandable. Now, I don't blame them, because they've either had some sort of bad experience with Nigerian or with the Nigerians to actually make them dislike Nigerians. So I've had some sort of bad experience with most Ghanaians, because once you're Nigerian, they actually feel some type of way about you, which I understand. I don't blame anybody. Bro, I'm really unproblematic. Love and peace, yo, bro, just do you, man. You understand? But I've had some bad experience with Ghanaians though, which is actually okay, probably because Nigerians were loud naturally, and I feel like we're misunderstood also. It's our culture, it's just how we are. We are loud. It's not like we're trying to bother anybody though. It's just how we are. And Ghanaians are kind of calm. They want their peace, so we just don't click sometimes. Now these people are calm, these people are loud. So I don't know. It's we always clash in one way or the other. So that's how I see it though. That's how I understand the whole thing. So me, I try to understand Ghanaians whenever they actually act in some type of way around me. So I get it. I get it.
Could be the game changer that finally stabilizes the Ghanaian cedi. But is this the economic breakthrough we have been waiting for, or just another missed opportunity? His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama, says this is the moment to act. Hello and welcome back to another episode. So in this video, I will break down the impact of the oil discovery on Ghana's economy, how it could help stabilize the Ghanaian cedi. His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama's full statement and bold vision, the role of foreign investment and production, what this means for inflation, jobs, and forex reserves. Kindly support me by subscribing to the channel. Like, comment, share, and turn on the notification bell for more updates on developmental projects from across Africa. Ghana's President John Dramani Mahama has proclaimed that a newly identified oil reserve valued at approximately 20 billion is positioned to reinforce and stabilize the Ghanaian cedi. He urged global oil investors to swiftly activate production in order to play a pivotal role in stabilizing the national currency. In his remarks, John Dramani Mahama emphasized that this substantial oil rainfall would increase Ghana's foreign exchange earnings, boosting reserves and alleviating depreciation pressure on the cedi. Now let's talk about some key takeaways of the 20 billion oil discovery. Massive economic potential. The discovery is valued at around 20 billion US dollars, a scale that could significantly influence Ghana's foreign inflows. Boost to the cedi. Increased foreign exchange from oil exports can provide stability to the cedi, helping to curb inflation and lower the pressure on the dollar exchange rate. Call to action for investors. John Mahama emphasized the urgency for international firms to escalate production, turning reserves into active revenue streams. Now let's talk about broader context of the 20 billion oil discovery. Rising reserves under Mahama. As of June 2025, Ghana's gross international reserves rose to $10.6 billion from $8.9 billion in December 2024, a sign of improved forex inflows. Policy diversification. President Mahama's broader economic toolkit includes expanding non-traditional exports like horticulture, which fetched over $3.5 billion in 2024 and aims for $10 billion by 2030. Launching a 24-hour national economy to escalate ports operations and agro-processing, further increasing forex earning. Now let's talk about why this matters. Exchange stability. A steadier cedi can lower import costs, slow inflation, and increase purchasing power for Ghanaians. Investor confidence. Oil revenues and forex reserves serve as indicators of economic stability, attracting both local and international investors. Long-term economic growth. Transforming natural resources into sustained revenue streams is key for advancing infrastructure, education, and public services. His Excellency the President of the Republic of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama's statement frames the 20 billion US dollars oil find as a transformative resource with the potential to stabilize the currency and catalyze broader economic growth. However, turning this potential into reality will depend on timely investment, efficient production, and prudent management to ensure long-term national benefits.
That is the oil sector, which has, prior to you being in office, been a bit of a sore point for the Ghanaian economy. What do you think has been some of the main challenges with this for Ghana?
I think that the environment got a bit toxic. I don't know for what reason. Government did not seem to prioritize the sector. And so there was a lot of disinvestment. They had little squabbles with all the oil investors. For instance, with Tallow, there was a squabble over taxes. And I think that, it was something that they could have resolved. Tallow went into arbitration and won the arbitration before we came into office. And so on the rest of the issues left to that were in dispute, we are sitting with Tallow and we're resolving them. And I think that that's the way it should go. Oil and gas, oil is in transition. And so, everybody who has any assets should be pumping like there's no tomorrow. And so, I would lay a red carpet to anybody who wants to drill and pump oil to do so. Because, in the next decade, 2 decades, I think that the world would have made a transition to renewables. So the environment was toxic. E&I had a dispute with another local company. Government took the side of the local company and asked that they should unitize. And a dispute occurred. E&I was held in contempt. They had to move all their expatriate management to Cote d'Ivoire for several years. And so we saw a decline in production of about 7% annually. And so oil and gas is down, but investor confidence has come back. New commitments are being made to produce more gas and oil.
Talk about some of those commitments at this point.
For instance, we're going to build a second gas stream, which will handle more gas coming out of our first field, that's Jubilee. The Jubilee partners, Starlow and Cosmos, are able to put more gas on stream. And so we need a second gas train to handle that because our current plant in the trouble cannot handle the extra gas. And then E&I are back and they are drilling again. And the early signals are that we might find considerable quantities of oil and gas. And when that happens, we're using our gas entirely to produce power. And so we have a gas to power policy. Currently, in our thermal generation, I think about 70 to 80% is gas-fired. But then we have another 20% for which we use light crude oil and HFO and diesels and things. And so we want over the next liquid fuels and use entirely gas so that we can bring down the cost factor in our power production.
Do you think that is within the 5-year pipeline? How far out would you say?
Well, I think if we put in the second gas stream and E&I turns the taps, we get more gas. Nigeria has also promised to increase our gas supply through the West African gas pipeline. So I think over the next 3 to 4 years, we should be able to eliminate crude oil completely. Gold production has increased and the price is good. And so Ghana is earning a lot more from gold. And so even though we're still producers of raw materials, we have a diversified portfolio of natural resources, gold, cocoa, and oil. So oil might not be doing well, but cocoa and gold are doing well. If we're able to increase cocoa production, that should bring in more export earnings here.
And lithium is also...
lithium, manganese, bauxite.
Can you talk, especially with lithium, and we talk about renewables, where does that fit into the bigger equation for the economy and the economic benefits of the transition?
Those are the rare earth minerals, and we found quite a big quantity of lithium. It's yet to be approved. There's a concession that has been granted. It's waiting to be approved by Parliament. And once that is done, then we have to work the logistics of it, how to start the exploitation. And so that is waiting to happen. But we do export manganese and bauxite in addition.
Is this important for African economies like Ghana and others to continue with this green metals mining, especially when you think about the wider EV push that we're seeing globally? How do you square that with also oil and crude?
I think we should work gradually to add value to what we produce. If you take the petroleum sector, of course, we're adding value to the gas by producing electricity with it and exporting it. If you take the crude oil, we export most of the crude oil. When I was president, we delivered our first parcel to our refinery to process into petroleum products for use in our country. Unfortunately, the refinery broke down. And so the crude oil was not processed. Eventually, the parcel was sold out at a discount. But there's a new refinery built by a Chinese investor. And once we increase the production of light crude, we probably will try and see if that refinery can use that crude. And if it can, then it means we'll process it locally and provide petroleum products in country. But with regards to all the others, if you take cocoa production, I think that we have processing capacity for about 40 to 50% of the total cocoa that we produce. And I am a believer in producing more locally and adding value to the cocoa than just exporting the raw beans. So over the next 4 years, we're going to see how increasingly we can reduce the amount of raw beans that we export and produce cocoa liquor, rum, cocoa powder, cocoa butter, and all the things that go into cocoa products. With regards to gold, we have a refinery, but it's not just having a refinery. You need to work to have the refinery registered under LBMA to be able to access the international market. So even though we have a refinery, it is not LBMA certified. And so we cannot immediately make full utilization of adding value to our gold. And so right now we export it in bullion form, but we've had discussions with the owner of the refinery, it's called the Gold Coast Refinery, and trying to see how we can work with him to get the appropriate certification so that we can process some of that gold locally.
How do you add value to, you mentioned lithium, bauxite, how do you see adding value to some of these exports, especially again as we continue to see more of an EV and renewable push globally?
With bauxite, for many years we've been looking to integrate Republic, our first president, the alumina, and then we smelt it and produce aluminium for the market. But Ghana has huge reserves of bauxite, and so for many years we've wanted to set up a refinery to refine the bauxite into alumina and supply our aluminium smelter. We've not achieved it yet, but I think that the strategy and the plan are there to be able to achieve it, because if you go inland, there's a reserve in Ashanti region called Unahi that has huge quantities of bauxite. And so we're looking for investors that will partner with us to both exploit the bauxite but also build an alumina refinery so that some of that alumina can be fed into the Volta Aluminium Company smelter to produce electricity for export. There's a company producing manganese that have promised to establish a manganese refinery. With the lithium, we are looking to go into secondary production, not just export the raw lithium. And so that's part of the discussion with the concession holder to be able to process the lithium to a certain level before we export it.
So that's still longer term plan.
Longer term, yeah.
Before we finish, when we think longer term, there is a lot of discussion about transition and many African states not being reliant on fossil fuels to power their economy. What do you see as your plan for Ghana to curb fossil fuels while still trying to industrialize and use it to the benefit that it can be right now?
We all know we're in transition to green energy. And so we passed the Renewable Energy Act, which stipulates that at least 10% of our energy mix should come from renewable sources. I'm ashamed to say we are under 3% at the moment. I think 2.71% of our total power production is renewable, and it's mainly in the solar space. Ghana has a comparative advantage to produce solar because we have abundant sunlight. Indeed, if we could export sunlight, we would be one of the richest countries in the world. And so increasing our capacity in solar in terms of, bigger solar power generation, but not only there, but also household solar, mini-grid solar. I mean, there are many options that we could look at. And so refining it to get the optimum is what we are at the moment. We've given licenses to several companies to begin to set up, large-scale solar, 20 megawatts, 50 megawatts, and 100 megawatts, so that we can catch up with at least a 10% power from renewable sources. But I think that the time has come also for us to follow in the footsteps of some of the Scandinavian countries, including Germany, where people can invest in solar and their households and feed any excess into the national grid. We do not yet have the regulation to be able to do that. I have a farm where I've installed solar. I'm producing more solar than I need. The utility have given me a meter that allows me to feed the excess power in. So as a responsible citizen, I did so. And so I'm feeding all the excess solar power into the grid, but they say there's no policy to pay me for the solar, so it's become a charity.
Are you okay with that?
So I have a personal interest to make sure that we're able to be paid for the solar that we put into the grid.
Would you? I mean, you talk about legislation.
I declare my
seriously.
conflict of interest.
Okay, you would declare it. Thank
Yeah.
you. Not everybody does that. I appreciate that. You talk about legislation. Is that something that you're actually thinking about longer term?
Yeah, actually, the Ministry of, that's why we call the Ministry of Energy and Green Transition. Yeah, and so we've reset that ministry to have a broader view of energy other than.
All right, guys, welcome back. It was a very intensive and very, very in-depth conversation, yes, with the president on this one. Guys, he said quite a lot. And in all he has said, all I see is a visionary, a proactive, a dedicated, a committed, and a very, very inspiring leader in the president of John Dramani Mahama, His Excellency, sir. I want to say a very massive well done for this innovation, this idea and innovation that you are coming up with already kick-started in the motherland Ghana. You've heard it all said and done. And as well, the reactions of foreigners explaining how they feel, or they think, or they have to say about the motherland Ghana. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, at this juncture, what are your thoughts, your opinion, your input? Leave them all in the comment section, guys. Let's have this conversation rolling, right? And at the end of the day, tell me what you think. And at the end of the day, give this video a huge and a massive thumbs up. Do not forget to like, share, and stay subscribed if this is your first time here. And I will see you in my next one. Ciao, ciao.